Hello, little dreamers. Welcome back to WeeStars Stories, where every tale is full of fun, adventure, and important life lessons. Today, we have some amazing stories for you about clever animals, brave friends, and the magic of kindness and wisdom. So grab your favorite blanket, sit back, and let's dive into a world of imagination together. Are you ready? Let's begin. One sunny afternoon, Neelam the crow soared gracefully above the lush green forest, her keen eyes scanning the ground below for something to eat. She had been flying for hours, and hunger was beginning to gnaw at her belly. As fate would have it, she spotted a shiny piece of cheese lying under an old oak tree. "How lucky I am!" exclaimed Neelam with delight. She swooped down, picked up the delicious morsel in her beak, and flew to the highest branch of the tree to savor her prize. Perched safely on the branch, Neelam admired the golden cheese glistening in the sunlight. "What a feast this will make," she thought aloud. Little did she know that Foxy the fox, who had been wandering nearby in search of food, had noticed her treasure. Foxy's stomach growled as he watched Neelam settle comfortably on the tree. His clever mind began to spin a plan. Foxy approached the tree and looked up at Neelam with wide, admiring eyes. "Oh, what a magnificent bird you are!" he called out sweetly. "Your feathers shine like polished ebony, and your posture is so regal. Surely, such beauty must come with an equally enchanting voice. Won't you sing for me?" Neelam felt a swell of pride at Foxy's words. No one had ever complimented her singing before, and she couldn't resist showing off her talent. Without thinking twice, she opened her beak to let out a loud caw-caw. But as soon as she did, the precious piece of cheese slipped from her grasp and tumbled to the ground. Foxy didn't waste a moment. With a sly grin, he darted forward, snatched the cheese, and gobbled it up in 2 quick bites. Then, turning back to Neelam, he chuckled mockingly. "Oh dear, what a pity. Your voice truly is as terrible as they say. I only wanted the cheese anyway. You're far too easy to fool." Neelam blinked in surprise, realizing she had fallen victim to Foxy's cunning trick. Though embarrassed, she vowed never again to let vanity cloud her judgment. Dear children, remember this. Flattery is often a trap. When someone praises you too much, especially when they want something from you, stay wise and cautious. True friends don't need to use sweet words to win your trust. They show their care through actions. Always think carefully before acting, just like how Neelam learned her lesson today. Now imagine this. Not far from where Neelam the crow had her encounter with Foxy, there lived Hare the lion, the mighty king of the jungle. One scorching summer afternoon, after devouring a hearty meal, Hare stretched out under the cool shade of a banyan tree and drifted into a deep slumber. Meanwhile, Neetu the mouse, tiny but full of energy, scampered through the underbrush, playing hide and seek with his siblings. In his excitement, Nitu accidentally scurried onto Sheru's tail. Startled by the ticklish sensation, Sheru woke with a thunderous roar that echoed through the jungle. With a swift swipe of his massive paw, he pinned Nitu to the ground. "Please forgive me, mighty king," squeaked Nitu, trembling with fear. "I meant no harm. If you spare my life today, I promise to repay your kindness someday." Sheru threw back his head and laughed heartily. "You, a puny little mouse, repay me? That's the funniest thing I've ever heard." Still, feeling generous after his meal, Sheru decided to show mercy. He lifted his paw and let Nitu scurry away, shaking his head at the absurdity of the idea. Days passed, and life in the jungle continued as usual. But one fateful morning, Sheru found himself ensnared in a hunter's net. Despite his strength, he couldn't break free. Frustrated and frightened, he roared loudly, hoping someone or something would hear him. Nitu, who happened to be gathering seeds nearby, recognized Sheru's desperate cry. Remembering the lion's kindness, he raced to the scene without hesitation. Using his sharp teeth, Nitu gnawed tirelessly at the ropes of the net until finally Sheru was free. A mighty lion looked down at the tiny mouse with newfound respect. "Thank you, Nitu," he said humbly. "You've proven that even the smallest creature can make a difference. From now on, I'll treat everyone with kindness, no matter how insignificant they may seem." From that day forward, Sheru and Nitu became unlikely friends, proving that acts of compassion often come back in unexpected ways. Ah, dear children, this story teaches us an important lesson. Never underestimate the power of kindness, no matter how small or insignificant someone may seem. Even the tiniest act of goodwill can have a big impact. Just like Nitu the mouse, we should always be ready to help others, because you never know when your kindness might save the day or even make a new friend. Now, let's move from the jungle, where Sheru the lion and Nitu the mouse lived, to another part of the forest, where two very different creatures were about to learn an important lesson. While Sheru and Nitu taught us about kindness and gratitude, this next story reminds us that being fast isn't everything. It's perseverance and determination that truly count. Once upon a time, in a lush green forest where tall trees swayed gently in the breeze and wildflowers carpeted the ground, there lived two creatures as different as night and day: Swift the hare and Steady the tortoise. Swift was known far and wide for his incredible speed. He could run faster than any animal in the jungle, and he wasn't shy about boasting. "No one can beat me," he would say with a proud grin. One sunny morning, while basking in the shade of an old oak tree, Swift spotted Steady slowly making his way across the path. Amused by how slow the tortoise moved, Swift laughed loudly. "Look at you, Steady. You're so slow, it's almost funny. How do you even get anywhere?" Steady paused mid-step and looked up at Swift calmly. "Speed isn't everything," he replied. Sometimes being steady wins the race. Swift burst into laughter again. Race? You think you could ever race me? That's hilarious. But then curiosity got the better of him. All right, little guy, let's have a race. Let's see if your steadiness can match my speed. The news of the race spread quickly through the forest, and soon all the animals gathered to watch. The starting line was marked near a big rock, and the finish line was set beside a distant berry bush. When the signal was given, Swift shot off like an arrow, leaving Steady far behind. Confident that he had plenty of time to spare, Swift decided to take a nap under a shady tree along the way. "I'll wake up before he even gets close," Swift muttered to himself as he drifted off to sleep. Meanwhile, Steady kept moving, slowly but surely, step by step, never stopping or giving up. By the time Swift woke up from his nap, rubbing his eyes lazily, he realized something alarming. Steady was already crossing the finish line. The crowd erupted into cheers as Steady raised his tiny head triumphantly. Swift dashed toward the finish line, but it was too late. Steady had won the race. Humiliated yet humbled, Swift approached Steady and said, "You were right. Being fast isn't enough if I don't use my strength wisely. Congratulations, you truly deserve this victory." Children, remember this: success doesn't always come to those who are the fastest or strongest. It belongs to those who work hard and stay focused. Slow and steady wins the race because persistence pays off. No matter what challenges you face, keep going and you'll reach your goal. Not far from where Swift and Steady had their legendary race, another story unfolded, one about cleverness and determination. Kaalu the crow lived in a peaceful village surrounded by fields of golden wheat. One hot summer afternoon, Kaalu flew out to visit his wise uncle, hoping to learn some valuable lessons. After spending hours listening to his uncle's stories, Kaalu felt parched. His throat was dry, and he desperately needed water. As he soared over the fields, searching for a pond or stream, Kaalu spotted a pot lying on the ground below. Overjoyed, he swooped down and peered inside. To his dismay, the pot contained only a small amount of water, too low for him to reach. Try as he might, no matter how he stretched his beak, the water remained just out of reach. Kaalu sat back, frustrated. "What am I supposed to do now?" he wondered aloud. Just then, he remembered something his uncle had told him. "Where there is a will, there is a way." Inspired, Kaalu looked around for inspiration. His sharp eyes spotted several pebbles scattered nearby. An idea began to form in his mind. Carefully, Kaalu picked up one pebble after another and dropped them into the pot. Each pebble caused the water level to rise slightly. He worked tirelessly, dropping pebble after pebble, until finally the water rose high enough for him to drink. Relieved and refreshed, Kaalu took a long sip and chirped happily. Uncle was right, he thought. clever thinking and perseverance really do solve problems. Dear children, when faced with a challenge, don't give up. Use your creativity and determination to find solutions. Remember Kaalu's lesson: where there is a will, there is a way. With effort and ingenuity, you can overcome even the toughest obstacles. In that same forest, Foxy the Fox and Ellie the Stork were once good friends. However, their friendship was put to the test when Foxy decided to invite Ellie over for dinner. "Ellie, please join me tonight," Foxy said sweetly. "I'll prepare a delicious soup for us to share." Excited, Ellie arrived at Foxy's home and eagerly awaited the meal. But when Foxy served the soup in flat plates, Ellie realized she couldn't drink it with her long, slender beak. Foxy, however, had no trouble slurping up his portion. "Don't you like my soup?" Foxy teased, smirking as he finished his bowl. Poor Ellie left hungry and hurt, vowing to teach Foxy a lesson. A few days later, Ellie invited Foxy to her house for dinner. "Thank you for coming, Foxy," Ellie said warmly. She brought out the soup, but this time it was served in tall pitchers. While Ellie easily drank from the pitcher with her long beak, Foxy struggled to reach the liquid, frustrated and famished. Foxy left empty-handed and embarrassed. From that day forward, Foxy learned to treat others fairly and respectfully. As for Ellie, she proved that kindness should always go hand in hand with fairness. Children, treat others as you wish to be treated. Kindness and fairness are essential in every relationship. If we act selfishly or unfairly, we may lose not only our friends, but also our dignity. Always strive to make others feel valued and respected. In a quiet little village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a shepherd boy named Ramu. Every day, Ramu led his flock of sheep to graze on a hilltop. Though the scenery was beautiful, Ramu grew bored of the routine. To entertain himself, he came up with a mischievous plan. One afternoon, Ramu climbed onto a large rock and shouted at the top of his lungs, "Wolf! Wolf! A wolf is attacking the sheep!" The villagers rushed to the hill, only to find Ramu laughing at their confusion. "Fooled you!" he giggled. The villagers scolded him, but eventually returned to their homes. A few days later, Ramu played the same trick again. Once more, the villagers hurried to help, only to discover they'd been duped. This time, they warned Ramu sternly, "If you lie again, no one will believe you when there's real danger." Sure enough, one fateful evening, a real wolf appeared and began chasing the sheep. Terrified, Ramu cried out, "Wolf! Wolf! Help me, please!" But the villagers, remembering his pranks, ignored his cries. By the time they realized the truth, it was too late. The wolf had scattered the flock, leaving Ramu devastated. Ramu learned a painful lesson. Lies destroy trust, and once broken, trust is hard to rebuild. Children, honesty is the foundation of trust. If you lie, people may stop believing you, even when you're telling the truth. Be truthful and sincere in all that you do, for trust is a treasure that takes time to earn, but only moments to lose. Now let's leave the hills of Ramu's village and journey back to the jungle, where another story about cleverness and betrayal unfolds. Just as Ramu learned the importance of honesty, this next tale teaches us how intelligence can save you from danger. Once upon a time, in a lush jungle near a winding river, there lived a clever monkey who feasted on delicious blackberries from a tree. Down in the river lived a crocodile, who often visited the monkey to share in the sweet fruit. The two became good friends, and the monkey would toss berries down to the crocodile each day. One day, the crocodile took some berries home to his wife. She enjoyed them immensely, but grew greedy. Imagine how sweet the monkey's heart must be if he eats these berries every day, she exclaimed. Bring me his heart. The next morning, the crocodile invited the unsuspecting monkey to visit his home across the river. As they swam halfway, the crocodile revealed his true intentions. I'm sorry, my friend, but my wife wants your heart, he said grimly. The monkey, though shocked, kept his wits about him. Oh, dear friend, he replied calmly, I left my heart on the tree. Take me back so I can fetch it for you. The foolish crocodile believed him and turned around. As soon as they reached the shore, the monkey leapt onto the tree and called out, You ungrateful creature! Do you think anyone has a heart outside their body? Go away and never return. The crocodile slunk off, ashamed and defeated. Dear children, cleverness and quick thinking can protect you from harm. Always stay calm in difficult situations and use your wisdom to solve problems. And remember, greed leads to ruin, while kindness fosters friendship. Who often visited the monkey to share in the sweet fruit. The two became good friends, and the monkey would toss berries down to the crocodile each day. One day, the crocodile took some berries home to his wife. She enjoyed them immensely, but grew greedy. Imagine how sweet the monkey's heart must be if he eats these berries every day, she exclaimed. Bring me his heart. From the riverside, let's move deeper into the jungle, where a proud lion ruled with fear and cruelty. His roar struck terror into the hearts of all animals, until one brave rabbit decided to teach him a lesson. In the heart of the jungle, Taro the lion was known for his ferocity. He roared and killed animals even when he wasn't hungry, spreading fear throughout the land. The terrified animals held a meeting to discuss what could be done. Buns, the rabbit, stepped forward. Leave this to me, he said confidently. The other animals were skeptical, but agreed to let him try. The next day, Buns approached Taro and said, Mighty King, I've seen another lion, a bigger, stronger one, in our jungle." Taro roared angrily, demanding to see this rival. Buns led him to a lake and pointed to the water. "He's right there," he said. Taro peered into the water and saw his reflection. Thinking it was another lion, he roared loudly and saw the reflection roar back. Furious, he jumped into the lake to fight, only to drown in the deep waters. The jungle celebrated its newfound freedom, thanks to Buns's cleverness. Children, intelligence is stronger than brute force. With wit and courage, even the smallest among us can overcome the mightiest challenges. Never underestimate the power of a sharp mind. While Buns the rabbit used his cleverness to free the jungle from tyranny, another animal tried to deceive everyone for personal gain. Let's meet Jackie the Jackal, whose greed led to an unexpected twist of fate. Jackie the Jackal lived in Jogo Jungle, where he spent most of his time scheming ways to get food without working. One day, chased by village dogs, he accidentally fell into a tub of blue dye. Covered in blue, he looked like no animal anyone had ever seen before. When he returned to the jungle, the other animals were terrified of this strange blue creature. Seizing the opportunity, Jackie claimed he was sent by heaven to rule over them. Believing his lie, the animals built him a shelter and brought him food daily. However, Jackie couldn't resist his instincts. One day, hearing other jackals howl, he joined in, revealing his true identity. The animals chased him away, realizing he was nothing more than a cunning trickster. Children, deceit may bring temporary rewards, but truth always prevails. Pretending to be something you're not will eventually lead to downfall. Authenticity and honesty are far more valuable than false pretenses. After Jackie's antics, we now turn to a lighter tale, one about a little mouse named Lucy, whose hiccup problem brought her family closer together. Once there was a little mouse named Lucy who lived in the meadow with her mother, father, and little brother Harvey. Lucy and Harvey got along very well. They played in the fields, went swimming in the summer, climbed trees, and even had tea parties together. Lucy thought that Harvey was just about the most perfect brother she could have, except for one thing. He had a way of sneaking up on her when she least expected it. One morning, as Lucy sat at the breakfast table sipping her juice, Harvey startled her so badly that she spilled her drink all over the table. Her mother scolded her for being careless, but Lucy couldn't help it. It wasn't her fault. She tried to calm down, but before long, she realized something strange was happening. Every few seconds, a loud hiccup burst out of her tiny body. It was embarrassing, frustrating, and downright annoying. No matter what she did, the hiccups wouldn't go away. Determined to find a solution, Lucy decided to ask her friends for advice. First, she visited Skunk, who was known for his clever ideas. "Hello, Skunk," Lucy said between hiccups. "I'm fine, but have got these terrible hiccups and can't get rid of them." Skunk scratched his chin thoughtfully. "Perhaps if you stand on your head, the hiccups will fall out," he suggested confidently. Without another word, Skunk dashed off, leaving Lucy to try the peculiar suggestion. Lucy stood on her head awkwardly, wobbling every time a hiccup made her lose balance. After several minutes, she gave up. It didn't work. Just then, Frog hopped by. "What are you doing, Lucy?" he asked curiously. Before she could explain, another massive hiccup interrupted her. Frog tilted his head. "Oh my, standing on your head has only made things worse. You should try hopping on one foot while patting your tummy." Though skeptical, Lucy gave it a shot. She hopped around like a clumsy bunny, patting her belly, but the hiccups persisted. By now, Lucy felt utterly defeated. "Maybe I'll have hiccups forever," she muttered miserably. "I'll be known as the Hiccup Mouse. People won't let me into libraries because I'm too noisy, and I'll never play hide and seek again since everyone will hear me coming." As Lucy trudged home, feeling sorry for herself, Harvey suddenly jumped out of the berry bushes, holding a large, juicy berry. "Lucy, look what I found!" he exclaimed excitedly. Lucy groaned. "Harvey, how many times have I told you not to?" But before she could finish, her words were cut short, not because of a hiccup, but because the hiccups were gone. Stunned, Lucy touched her chest. "Harvey, you cured me!" she cried joyfully. She threw her arms around him and hugged him tightly. Together, they shared the delicious berry, laughing and celebrating their unexpected victory over the pesky hiccup. Sometimes, solutions come from unexpected places. Children, don't give up when things seem tough. Stay patient, and you'll find joy in the simplest moments, often through the love and support of those around you. Just as Lucy found happiness through connection, let's meet a lonely traffic light who longed for attention. Her story reminds us of the importance of understanding our role in the world. Once upon a time, there was a traffic light, a lonely traffic light. She stood at the intersection of two busy roads, dutifully changing colors from green to yellow to red. Yet despite her important role, she often felt ignored. Sometimes people would push her button and wait impatiently for her to change, only to hurry across the street once the light turned green. Other times, cars zoomed past without giving her a second glance. Each time, the traffic light sighed sadly, wishing someone would notice her hard work. Her loneliness grew until one day she noticed a little red car that passed by early every morning and again in the afternoon. Inside the car were a mother, father, and two children dropping Daddy off at the train station. On some mornings, When the light turned red, the two kids would wave to her, hold up their stuffed animals, or simply stare in awe as they waited for the light to change. Those brief moments filled her heart with happiness. But other days, when the light stayed green, the car sped through the intersection without so much as a glance in her direction. Those days left her feeling emptier than ever. Desperate for attention, the traffic light decided to take matters into her own hands. The next time she saw the red car approaching, she switched herself to red, even if it wasn't the proper time. Sure enough, the kids waved enthusiastically, making her beam with pride. For the first time in ages, she felt truly seen. But her plan backfired. Days later, her circuits malfunctioned, causing her to stay stuck on yellow. Cars piled up in long lines, honking angrily as frustrated drivers shouted complaints. Repairmen arrived to fix her, shaking their heads. "This traffic light must be getting old," one said. "When it breaks down, it causes chaos for everyone." As the repairmen worked, the traffic light listened carefully. For the first time, she understood the impact of her actions. Without her, traffic jams formed, people grew late for work, and lives were disrupted. Though she had always felt invisible, she realized she played a vital role in keeping the world moving smoothly. From that day forward, the traffic light vowed to do her job properly. She switched her lights only when necessary, ensuring smooth traffic flow. And though the kids didn't wave to her every day anymore, she still caught glimpses of their smiling faces when the light turned red. Knowing she was helping others brought her immense satisfaction, and she was never lonely again. Children, everyone plays a vital role in the world, whether or not others notice. Doing your job well brings harmony and fulfillment. Find pride in your responsibilities, and you'll never feel truly alone. From the bustling streets, let's return to nature, where two caterpillars embarked on a journey of growth and reunion. Their transformation into butterflies mirrors the changes we experience in life. Once upon a time, there were two caterpillars, a brother named Cater and a sister named Pillar, who lived happily together atop a tall oak tree. They spent their days munching on delicious green leaves, exploring the branches, and watching out for each other. Life was simple and joyful. One breezy afternoon, disaster struck. A strong gust of wind swept them off the tree, sending them tumbling to the ground far below. Dazed and frightened, Cater and Pillar looked up at their distant home. "Oh no," Cater moaned. "It'll take us forever to climb back up." Pillar sighed, but quickly rallied. "We have no choice. We must keep going until we make it. Otherwise, we'll never see our home again." With renewed determination, they began their ascent. Cater, now adorned with striking yellow and black wings, flew tirelessly, asking every butterfly he met, "Are you Pillar?" Meanwhile, Pillar, with shimmering purple and red wings dotted with blue spots, called out for her brother wherever she went. Despite their efforts, They struggled to recognize each other in their new forms. Just as hope began to fade, Pillar had an idea. She enlisted the help of other insects, asking them to call out Cater's name as they flew. Soon, the entire forest buzzed with cries of "Cater! Cater!" Hearing his name, Cater rushed toward the sound, following it until he reached a praying mantis. "Why are you calling my name?" he asked eagerly. "The purple butterfly with blue spots is looking for her brother," the mantis replied with a smile. Overwhelmed with excitement, Cater flew faster than ever before, retracing his steps until he spotted a familiar figure in the distance. As they reunited, tears of joy welled in their eyes. Laughing and playing, they soared off together to rediscover their beloved home. Children, perseverance and teamwork can reunite even those who seem lost. No matter how much we change, love and determination keep us connected. Cherish your bonds, for they guide you through life's storms. Finally, let's peek into the cozy world of Niblet the mouse, who thrives on the kindness of a human family. His story shows how gratitude and adaptability create happiness. I am a mouse. My name is Niblet, and I live in a cozy little hole in a house shared by a man, a woman, 2 children, and a cat. I adore the 2 children. They're messy eaters, which means plenty of crumbs for me. Late at night, after everyone falls asleep, I sneak out to feast on the leftovers scattered across the kitchen floor. Their toys fascinate me too. Some are perfect for decorating my underground home. Last week, I borrowed a miniature chair that fits perfectly in my living room. Today, I discovered a spoon that's excellent for scooping crumbs from tight cracks. Life is good, but I do miss the kids when they leave for school in the morning. The house feels eerily quiet without their giggles and squeals. I peek out occasionally to watch the humans interact, marveling at how similar they are to mice. Both species are playful, curious, and resourceful. Though I adore my human family, I must remain hidden. Humans fear mice and might try to remove me if they discover my presence. So, I tiptoe quietly, careful not to disturb anyone. Occasionally, I whisper to myself, "Shh, keep it down, Niblet." Despite the secrecy, I feel grateful for the warmth and comfort this household provides. From the soft blanket and old teddy bear shirt to the steady supply of food, I lack nothing. Most importantly, I cherish the bond I share with the family, even if they don't know I exist. Children, appreciate the blessings in your life, no matter how small. Gratitude and resourcefulness turn ordinary moments into extraordinary memories. Remember, happiness often lies in simplicity and connection. And that's the end of today's story time with WeeStars Stories. We hope you enjoyed these wonderful tales filled with fun, adventure, and important life lessons. From The Lion and the Mouse, we learned that even the smallest acts of kindness can make a big difference because everyone has the power to help, no matter their size or strength. in The Hare and the Tortoise, we discovered that slow and steady wins the race, reminding us to stay patient and persistent in everything we do. And who could forget Kaalu, the thirsty crow? Kaalu showed us that where there's a will, there's always a way. If we use our creativity and determination, we can overcome any challenge. Each of these stories teaches us something special about life, whether it's being kind, staying humble, or solving problems with clever thinking. The lessons are timeless and meaningful for all ages. So, what did you take away from today's stories? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode of WeeStars Stories. Until next time, keep reading, keep learning, and most importantly, keep shining bright like the stars you are. Good night, little dreamers.